Salerno. We're going for Salerno up in it with a 29.4 to go a couple tenths faster than Reeve. On the left side, Brian Schaefer with a 30.8 for Schaefer. Josh Luster, he's another guy to watch in that C6 Corvette Grand Sport, leaving the line with a 6:33 reaction time. Line up and just leave. Burns getting a slight advantage on the start as Luster's back on the left side of 30.0 on the left side. Quickest left side time, but right side looks like they're already in mid-29s. These guys are already making their way back to the other sides. Things going by fast, so if you're working shift D, you should already be checking in group 7 or 8. Get your cars ready as Big Mike Snyder tags count on his way out. James Newman on his way back in. He's back first, so 30.3 with the mouse hovering all over cones. Alright, that cone's gonna go to Snyder as Newman's back with a 30.3. Right side, Heather Burns with +1 on a 32.7 for Heather Burns. Mike Snyder and Sydney Rich working the corners now. Snyder now with 3 cones. He's just all over the place with the cones. A great scratch on a 30.330.3 for him. +3 cones. Right side, Sydney Rich with a 32.4, but +1 cone. Grant Reeve and Chris Safaro leading the line. Reeve on the left side, and C506 right side. Safaro also with C506. These guys seem like geared up to me. Alright, so Reeve knocking it down on a 29.1, but +2 cones. 2 cones on a 29.1. Man, he's right on top of these streetlight times. Seems like streetlight need to go faster. Chris Safaro on the right side, a red light, 442 red light with a 31.1 for Chris Safaro. Next up, Salerno and Schaefer. Salerno was right on top of Reeve earlier. Does it again, but a little bit slower. He is clean. 29.3 for Salerno on the left. Your early leader in SSR. Schaefer on the right side. 31.3 for him off a 5:17 reaction time. Josh Luster 89 in his C6 Corvette. I've got a Nautilus coming up as Luster dips into 29s. 29.8 for Josh Luster. Moves him up into the second spot unofficially after the first pair of runs for this group. Burns and Newman working their second runs as I've got the Nautilus. Alright, no Nautilus, but Shift D workers, please check in. Shift D workers, please check in. I believe is back first by quite a bit. Time in for Newman on the right side of 30.2 off a 5:25 reaction time. Left side, Heather Burns with a 34.9. No help there as Burns had a comparison to what we got. Sydney Rich and Mike Snyder working the course. Let's see if Snyder can get a clean run in. He had a 6:07 reaction time there. 6:13 with Reeve and Safaro. Leaving the line Safaro with a 5:05 on the left side for reaction time. Great Mike. Sydney Rich back on the left side with a 32.0, picking up 1.1 seconds. But Mike Snyder, huge pickup there as he tries to total cones. So 30.6 is the time for him. So Safaro on the left side working a 5:05 reaction time. Reeve on the right side with a 5:62 in his C06 Corvette. Reeve has quite a bit of slide and he gives it up. Goes off course. Just bails on the finish as he had a big power slide through that finish. I've seen a bunch of rear-wheel drive cars doing that. 29.9
so
is the
you want to
time
go
for
to these tires and
he was working on mid-29, but potentially leaving the door open for this man. Pat Salerno coming back down for Safaro. Not to be left out. A 30.2 on the left side, 30.2 for Safaro. As Salerno back in, he's slower by just a hair. 29.5 for Salerno, 29.5 for Pat. And then GT3 Schaefer on the left side would have picked up 7/10 on a 30.1, but tagged the cone. Burns and Newman out for their final run. Luster finishing up left side, his first left side run? No, last left side run. He's got to come back to the right side one more time, but a 29.5 for Luster on the left would have put him in the second. Still in the second, but 3 cones on that run. 29.5 plus 3, dropping out half second on raw time. Here we go. Newman and Burns on their final run. Newman on his final left side run, picking up a half second at 29.9, finally dropping below that 30-second mark. So James Newman with a 29.9 sits in third, 3/10 behind Josh Luster. Burns on the right side, picking up 3.2 out of 31.5. Alex Snyder on the left, Simi Richard on the right. They are back. Simi's running on 31.9 for a 2.5-second pickup. Left side, Mike Snyder finally getting a clean left side run. 29.7 is the time for him, and that'll put him in fourth, just 2/10 behind Newman for that third spot. But we've got Reeve and Safaro out there. Reeve already tagging a cone. What is the scratch time on this one? Safaro a bit slower than but Reeve with +1 on a 29.2 for Grant Reeve, but unfortunately +1 cone. Still puts him in that 5th trophy position despite dirty on both of his left side runs. Safir on the right side with an off course on a 41.7, but off course. Laird and Schaefer for their final runs. Josh Luster leaving on his final bye run. I've got Salerno back first on the left side, slower by a 1/10 of a second on a 29.4 for Salerno. He's holding on to the lead over Josh Luster. Josh working that right side. We'll see if he can improve on this one. He's going to need to drop the 28s to take over the lead. Anything's possible. But Luster dropping a quarter of a second to cut down Pat Salerno's lead to 3/4 of a second. 29.5 is the time for him. 29.5 for Luster to join the leaders in the mid-29s. STR 7 Shipley. Currently on. So again, shift D workers, you should already be checked in. Shift D workers, you should already be checked in. If you have not checked in, you're late. Come running. And George on the left side, 31.3. On the right side, Kevin Shiplin, 31.5. Alright, I'm going to switch off with Blue Junior Johnson. He's going to lead you off for the final shift here. Some exciting action coming up. I'm waiting to see those SSM cars.
Just had a blowout in here. Computer screens everywhere. Just a moment ago, James Dunham, a 32.167, 32.167, and 632 reaction. Ryan Davies at a red light, 488 red light, just finishing up now. Left side, Nuri, James Tyler, and Steve Venn looking for you. It looks like possibly as worker check-in. I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Came over the radio looking for a couple of folks out there. David Marcus, a moment ago, 31.992, 31.992 for David Marcus, 698 the reaction time for Marcus. On Toro, it sounds like. Matthew Braun leading the way here in STR by a tenth of a second over Shane Shinnon-Roden. John Casertis in third, Mark Dudek in the fourth spot. John Lee just finished up 32.653 and a 5.33 reaction time for him, with Brad Tanis a 32.988 on that left side, 7.73 the reaction time for Tanis. Barbato over on the right side into the finish, 31.849, 31.849 for Barbato, 5.50 the reaction time. And that'll put Nick to the third spot. So it's Braun, Shane Shinnon-Roden, and Nick Barbato, your top three, with John Caserta, Mark Dudek, and David Marcus rounding out the top 6 spots there in all of your trophy positions here in STR. But Nick, 4 weeks ago, as well as Marcus. So see how that turns out. Andrew Blasman on the right side, 30.129, 30.129, 609 the reaction time. Left side for Ethan Bradbury, 30.684 and a 623 reaction time. Bradbury leading the way so far here in R2. Head towards the finish now. Right side, Robert Christman, Raglan on the left. Raglan back first, 28.599, 28.599, 676 the reaction time. Robert Christmas now takes the top spot, 30.193, 30.193, 645 the reaction time. Christmas with a 70 thousandths advantage over Ethan Bradbury here in R2. And of course now Ed George on the right side, Kevin Shiplin on the left, 2 cones, actually, no cones, I'm sorry. Raglan a cone there a moment ago. Kevin a 30.857, 553 the reaction time. Ed George a 31.078 and a 625 reaction time. So it's Christmas, Bradbury, George, and Blasman, your top 4 here in Ryan Davies now working the left side. James Dunham on the right. Left side, 32.326, no help. He was a 10.5 quicker on his previous left side run. Dunham with a good clean run on the right now, 32.390 and a 5.69 the reaction time. Dunham up to the 8th spot. Davies sitting in 21st position here in STR. Nuri working the right side, 33.181, 33.181 for Nuri. That's 7/10 pickup there. 5.77 the reaction time. David Marcus throws away a great improvement, a 31.156.87 would have been the improvement, but a 4.27 red light throws that out the window. So everyone's still chasing Matthew Braun with a 1/10 of a second lead. John Lee now, left side, picks up 1.2 2 seconds, 32, 146. Rad Tatis, 32, 586. That's a 4/10 pickup for Rad. And it looks like John Lee up to the 10th spot and Tatis to 15th. Nick Barbado now works the left side. All bias losing. Got anything for Mr. Matthew Braun? What's he got? 31, 142, picks up .344. Will that be enough? Nick Barbado now just 3/10 off of Shane Shannon-Roden, but not enough to move into the first or second spot here in STR. Andrew Glasgow now on the left side, Bradbury on the right. Blasman at 29, 559, 29, 559, 5.4 second improvement there for Blasman. Ethan Bradbury, 31.038 with a 7:35 reaction time. So Blasman now moves to the top spot. Bradbury in second, bumping Christmas back for a moment, but Christmas now moves back to the second spot with a 29.996. He picked up 6/10 there, 5:59 the reaction time, and Raglan at 28.784 and a 6:21 reaction time. That gets him a good time in the books on that right side. That 4th spot here in R2. Into the finish now, left side, Ed George, right side, Kevin Shiplin, I believe it is. Red light there, 407 on the right, plus a couple of cones, I believe. On the left side for Ed George, a 30.678 picks up .675 and a 6:32 reaction time. It looks like George is now moving to the 5th spot here in R2. Davies now working the right side, left side, James Dunham. Actually, Davies may have got himself a good run in the books there. 32.548, 32.548.
Yeah, I saw it on the show.
Ryan Davies, 6:87 the reaction time. Left side 32.772. Davies now up to the 10th spot, so that helped him quite a bit, picking up 10 spots on that one run. Dunham again a 32.772, going to hold on to the 8th spot. As now we got David Marcus picking up 42 thousandths on the right. A 31.950, 584 the reaction time, with Nuri on that left side at 32.492 and a 540 reaction time. That gets him a time in the books. Marcus is going to hold on to the 5th spot here in STR, as Nuri looks like he's going to hold on to 17th. John Lee now working the right side, but he's got a cone, not going to help his cause at all. Rad Tatis on the left, 32.101. That's 8/10 pickup for Tatis on the left. John Lee would have picked up 4/10, but a cone throws it out the window. So Tatis going to hold on now to the 10th spot, and John Lee in 12th here in STR. Out there now on the right side, Nick Barbado. Nick needs to pick up about 2 seconds or so to be able to catch the leader. Nick Barbado at 31.871, 31.871, 568 the reaction time. That is not going to be enough to move up any in class. 31.871 is not any quicker on that right side for Mr. Barbado. Now, right side, Andrew Blasman, no help there, 31.148. Left side, 34.949. No help for either driver. Bradbury and Blasman are going to have to count on their earlier runs. Blasman, though, is your leader by 1.3 seconds over Robert Christmas, with Ethan Bradbury and Chris Raglan following up in the other trophy spots. Coming in now, Chris Raglan picks up 3.3 seconds and into the top spot by 7/10. Raglan 29.245. Christmas, no help, 16 thousandths off his previous quick time on that right. 30.209, 561 the reaction time. Coming in now, right side, Ed George in the Subaru. Left side, Kevin Kevin in there with the Acura, 31.065. No help, 2/10 off his time on the left side for Kevin. Right side, George picks up .224, 30.854. Ed George holds on to the 5th spot as Kevin's going to hold on the 6th here in R2. Into the finish now, right side, John Vinenvoss, 30.046, 5:69 the reaction time. Nick Simon on the left side at 31.557, 6:30 on the tree for him. Eric Campbell now, right side. Campbell gonna be back first. What's he got for us? He's got a cone, 30.377 plus the cone, 5:33 the reaction time. Left side, Mark Summer, a 31.758, 31.758, 6.95 the reaction time there for Summer. As now we've got Mr. Garfield working the right side all by his lonesome. Little crossed up there is Bryant, 31.477, 31.477 for Garfield. Now we've got Chris Janis working the right side, the Civic. Bob Davis on the left in the Miata. Some SSM action coming to the line. Most powerful cars out there. Into the finish. Left side, Davis, 30.611, but a cone attached to that. Chris Janis on the right, 30.965, 6.83 the reaction time for Janis, and a 600 reaction time there for Bob Davis. On the course now, right side, Dan Chadwick, Jim Thompson on the left. Chadwick's time at 31.249, 31.249 for Chadwick, 6.49 the reaction time, 32.608 for Jim Thompson, but he's got 3 cones attached to that, so that's not going to help his cause in the long run, that's for sure. Brief pause here at the start. Sitting there, we've got Jake Namer on the right, Craig Randall Wilcox on the left. Wilcox 6.24 as they both head out. Bunch of dead heat at this point. Jake Namer, though, driving the wheels off that car lately. Nice conversation with Mark Daddio. He co-drove with him in New Jersey the other week. Said that car was a lot of fun. And Daddio just barely squeaking Great job there. 29.376 for Namer, 29.376, but not to be outdone. Randall Wilcox, 29.185 on the left, 6.24 the reaction time for Wilcox, and a 5.08 for Namer.